It never fails with this CPI report. When it comes in, everybody, no matter if it goes up, down, everything is going to be a pivot.
Stop it.
For some reason, the market believes 100% with all certainty that the Fed is going to either pause or pivot. This pivot talk is just getting out of control. And with the banking collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic and the Signature Bank, it's getting crazy out here that everyone thinks that the Fed should just turn around and start decreasing the interest rates. What, for some reason, even though, let's get to the point here, even though core inflation is still running hot, even though the CPI report didn't go down that much, they believe that the Fed should pivot. Well, let's jump into this, guys. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. The inflation gauge increased 0.4% in February as expected, up to 6% from a year ago. Here is the point. People believe that since, we have this thing that's going on with the regional banks. Most people believe that the Fed has broken something. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. That the Fed has literally destroyed something and broke something in the system. And so he should just stop and turn around and run. Go ahead and reverse everything that he did and change everything back to what it is. But this is my question, guys. And I want you guys to hear me out on this. Isn't what's going on currently right now high inflation, wages not changing, all of these things going up, up, and up, and up, housing out of control, rent out of control, all of these things, right? Isn't this the reason why we're in this? Shouldn't the Fed be trying to get these things down before he starts, reversing tasks, before he starts increasing? Because that's what's going to happen. If the Fed turns around and pivots, everything goes up. Houses, get ready, they're going to go up. Rent, get ready, they're going to go up. Wages, they're going to continue to go down. That's the biggest thing. I don't understand it. Wages continue to go down and everything will go up. That's what's going to happen if the Fed decides to pivot. Is the Fed going to pivot? In my opinion, no. And here is the reason why the Fed is not going to pivot, guys. In my opinion, once again, this is Orlando's opinion.
You keep that in mind.
The reason why the Fed isn't going to pivot, guys, is because you have to understand the type of Fed that we're dealing with. We're not dealing with a Fed that's extreme on one side or the other. We have a Fed that is on the fence all the time. And yes, he is going to increase interest rates, but it's not going to be, by the huge amount or whatnot. He's going to do 0.25% in my opinion, because it satisfies both sides. It's whatever's right down the middle is what the Fed is going to do. You have one side asking for a pause or a pivot, and then you have another side that's saying you need to increase rates to 0.50, right? So what is the Fed going to do? You called it. He's going to be right down the middle. In my opinion, that's what he's going to do. He's going to satisfy both ends and come straight down the middle. And this is the reason why. It's because he's getting a lot of pressure from individuals that are saying,
you broke something in the system. That is the reason why SVB collapsed.
But that's not really the reason why they collapsed. Let's be real. The reason why these guys collapsed is because the owners of Silicon Valley Bank, they didn't manage the bank right. They were heavy on one end or another. They were heavy on VC banking and all this other stuff, and they didn't run the bank correctly. And that's what happened. That's what caused them to be in the situation. And, I'm not going to even talk about how greedy the executives were. I mean, we just saw one of the executives pulled out all of his money 2 weeks, guys, before the collapse of the bank. Are you trying to tell me he didn't know that the bank was going to collapse?
Really?
Orlando, that's not true. What are you doing?
Oh, well, let's take a look, guys. SVB collapsed. CEO cashes out millions while employees got bonuses. And then we go ahead and we reward these guys. Oh, don't worry. Go ahead and cash out. And then we'll protect come on.
Seriously. Stop.
I would think that sounds like insider trading to me, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube. And, insider trading? Orlando, who cares about that? Let these guys cash out and, it collapse a bank and put everybody's money at risk. He knew 2 weeks before. And then a week later, he says,
Oh guys, don't worry. Have confidence in us. We're gonna make this thing work.
after he's already cashed out his position. Greed is real, guys. Greed is real. And look, this isn't the first time we've seen this. We saw it in 2008 during a financial crisis. This is not new, guys. And that's what I'm trying to say. And so let's get back to the CPI report. So let's take a look at this CPI report. It shows here the graph, and you see it at 6%. That's where we are right now. The month before that, we were at 6.4%, and we dropped down to 6. But let's take a look at the core CPI report, or what they call core inflation, and we can see, if you take a look at January was 5.6, and then February was 5.5. So it only went down 0.1%. That's still hot, guys. I don't know in what universe in what universe do we look at it and go, inflation has been defeated. Thank you. I'm so happy. Where we've only went down 0.1% in core inflation and only 0.4 and when it comes to the full CPI report. So we have so far to go, but this isn't, guys, listen. How many times have we done a CPI report and every single time the market is saying, oh, he's going to pivot, and it shoots up. It shoots up and it goes beyond, what people think it is. Like, hey, didn't we just get a report that said inflation is bad? That it's still hot. So why is the market shooting up? Why are people saying pivot? It sounds like banks, these big hedge funds, these, Saks, JP Morgan, these guys who lost a ton of market value in the last couple of months, who are getting hit over the head because mortgage applications are down, guys who are losing, these companies and banks who are losing tons of money. It sounds like these guys need to pivot. That's the reason why we're hearing so many pundits and these hedge fund guys saying, pivot, pivot, pivot. They're speaking it into existence, guys. Have you guys heard of that? Just speak it into existence. Go ahead and if you say it so many times, the Fed has to pivot, right? Let's just keep saying it. He's got to pivot. He's got to pivot. He's going to pivot. Because you know why? Because we need him to stop raising rates. Rates are killing our companies. And guys, we really do need these rates to continue to go up, because not only does the rates continue to go up, affect the housing prices because demand, right? Demand is going to be lower if interest rates go higher, higher, and higher. That's just the name of the game. And if the demand is low, that means prices will come down. And I'm still on the Fed is going to increase it. In my opinion, he's going to increase it. I can't see the Fed coming in and saying,
You know what? I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pivot.
I just don't see it. Because here's the thing, guys. If the Fed decides to pivot, you know how hard it's going to be for him to restart the increases? And on top of that, what if the Fed finds out 2 months later that, that was a bad mistake because inflation is now going back up, which it will. Let's be clear. Inflation will go back up. If he decides to do that, now he's going to have to double down. Now he's going to have to go harder. And this Fed prefers to be straight down the middle than be on one side or the other. That's just my opinion. He doesn't want to be the extreme and go hard in any scenario. In any scenario, he would have to talk back everything he said. And previously, guys, this Fed has not talked back all the stuff that he said. He's just been extremely soft on inflation.
It's just unprofessional, man. It's soft. His game is soft. He's soft.
He's been extremely soft on pushing up the rates. In my opinion, he should have been pushing them up long time ago. He said it himself in an interview in front of Congress.
I believe I should have been more aggressive. I should have done more frequently.
And he decided he was going to be more aggressive. But, with this wrench that was thrown in with the SVB bank collapse and all these regional banks, now he's feeling the pressure politically wise from the government, from all of these banks saying, look, okay, You've already done everything that you were supposed to do. You did everything that you set out to do, except knock down inflation. But, you know, banks don't really care about that. You know, banks don't really care about, they care about the bottom line. They just want you to get back to getting debt. And they realize right now they're losing money with this high amount of interest rates, causing people not to want to get debt. But here, that's beyond the point. But the banks are saying, okay, enough is enough. You're a good Fed. You did your job, except he did it. Because the Fed's job is he needs to fight inflation. He needs to use the right tools to knock down inflation. And what is that tool? Raising interest rates.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So guys, in my opinion, get ready. The Fed is going to continue to raise interest rates. Inflation is still hot. Inflation isn't going anywhere, guys. You hear me? Inflation isn't going anywhere, at least not in the near future. It's going to take us a while to get to this 2% that the Fed is going to say. And by the way, the job cuts and everything are going to happen. Look, Facebook just announced today 10,000 more cuts. And on top of that, they're looking for another 5,000 cuts. And guess what else they said, guys? They also said they implore individuals who were doing remote work, just come on back to the office. Come on back to the office, because let me read in between the lines there for you. If you don't come back to the office and you want to stay remote, then you're going to be one of those individuals that we're going to probably let go. That's what they're saying, guys. But that's a total nother video, guys. I just want to add that in there to show you exactly where we're going. Where exactly we're going and how inflation is still eating up employment, wage growth, and, consumer spending. Consumer spending is crazy out of control. Anyway, guys, you won't get all of your info from this one video. Please watch this next video here. It will help you with the housing market, financial news, get into your first rental property. And I promise you the information you will get from it will be gold. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.